My name is Cash McVeigh. Grew up in Jacksonville, but have moved down to St. Augustine 20 years ago and have been here ever since and love this town and love the neighborhood of Lincolnville. I grew up in a bicycle store. My family owned a bicycle shop, and from the time I could push a broom till I was 24, I worked at a bicycle store. And there's something communal about people who are interested in bicycles, so I was always around that growing up. Maybe that had a big part of my enjoyment of working with groups of people and making things happen. Currently I'm the president of the Lincolnville Community Garden. It's a nonprofit entity that we started 2009. The garden was built in 2010, so we've almost been here going on our 5th year. We basically created City Sprout in order to get the word out that we wanted to build this community garden. And it's kind of a catchy name, and so we were able to raise $9,000. Then slowly started using Lincolnville Community Garden as our name as the garden got built. We still have City Sprout, and it's a name that we use anytime we need to raise money for this garden or other gardens. When we started, I knew nothing about gardening, and I still really learn things every day. I really wouldn't even consider myself a gardener or expert gardener right now. I've got so much more to learn. My wife and I just printed up a couple shirts that said, "Ask me about the Lincolnville Community Garden," real big. And I just wore that at parties and around the neighborhood. And within like 3 months, period of time, we had like about 10 people that stopped me and said, "Well, what about it?" And they were like, "Well, I want to be interested in it." And I would say that was a majority of the money, was just walking, hitting the pavements, and just asking for help. This is all the sponsors who, when this garden wasn't here, they shared in the vision and donated money or materials or time to make it a reality. We're now working on a project at the very end of Riberia Street, and it's 10 acres that's wrapped around panoramically with marsh grass. And then it's on the confluence of the Sebastian River and the Matanzas River, which is also the intercoastal, come together at the point. So it's absolutely a breathtaking spot. We all got together, proposed to the city that they build a passive park on the property. Last year the timing was right, and we were able to get commission approval to allow the city manager to move forward on building a passive park. We're kind of in the process right now where the city is just moving forward at a slow pace to get it right, and each month we kind of accomplish one goal. And it looks like if everything goes right, they'll at least have the phase 1 open, which will just be kind of a green area with a connection where you can bike or walk down by spring or summer of next year. Another thing that happened as part of that is the neighborhood and the community really expressed the interest to have a kayak launch in a pedestrian dock where someone could go launch their kayak, or someone who just wants to enjoy going out and seeing the sunrise with a cup of coffee, walk their dog out there, throw a fishing line. So there's actually a kayak launch pedestrian dock project that we've got going on over here that the city's embraced, and the city commission passed a resolution letting it go to the next step. And the next step is phase 1, which is engineering and permitting. And we actually, just last week, the city got a grant from FINE, which is the Florida Inland Navigational District, and they secured a grant to pay for phase 1 costs. So that's kind of like a hurdle that we needed to get over. We jumped over that, and now we're going down the road with that project. So doing something to stimulate social interaction, I thought was important for the neighborhood.